5 a.m., police received reports of sounds of gunshot in the area. Officers arrived on scene very quickly within minutes as they're already close by and located a person in the street. The officers located an adult male suffering from gunshot wounds and started providing life-saving measures. Our Toronto paramedic services also attended and assisted. However, despite all their best efforts, the male was pronounced deceased at the scene. The Homicide Unit for Toronto Police Service has now taken over this investigation, and they'll also be providing additional updates at a later time. We do recognize that a shooting of this nature is very alarming for the community. We do take this shooting very seriously, much like any other. We have quite a few resources on scene to provide support. And again, we are making it a priority. We have a number of resources on the scene as we're investigating this shooting very diligently. This remains an active investigation. We do have officers on scene, locating witnesses and gathering evidence and trying to locate witnesses as well. We are asking if anyone witnessed, heard, or anything, no matter how simple it is, to call 416-22-TIPS anonymously. Again, 416-22-TIPS to provide any information at all that can assist our investigation. And I'll take any questions you have at this time.
What information about the suspects?
We do not have any confirmed suspect information at this time, but that will be provided at a later time once it becomes available by the Homicide Unit.
What can you tell us about the victim being told he might have been only 20 or 30 years old?
I can tell you it's an adult male, possibly in their 30s, but it's an adult male.
And did they live on this street?
I can confirm their residence. It's too early in the investigation, but I can't speak to their residence.
What can you tell us what happened at 5 o'clock in the morning? How did this happen? Any kind of information to paint the picture of the scene?
The picture I can paint is that it's very early in the morning, obviously at 5 a.m. And as you can tell, this happened very close to 11 divisions. Our officers were close by. They arrived on scene within minutes, and they located a person on the ground suffering from a gunshot wound. And that's what happened earlier this morning. And from there, they started their life-saving efforts. And since then, he's been pronounced deceased.
So you know you say suspect information is to come, but can you tell us if you're looking for multiple people, one person?
Again, it's too early in the investigation at this stage to confirm whether it's single or multiple suspects.
So what we have seen
Sure.
multiple are evidence markers on the ground there. Can you confirm if there are multiple gunshots?
That forms a part of the initial investigation as we gather evidence. Yes, there are multiple markers indicating multiple points of different evidence collection. But again, it's too early to say how many shots were fired. But that's part of the investigation to be determined as well.
What can you tell us about the house nearby that also had evidence markers around it?
Evidence is spread out throughout the street, and so it is a residential area. We believe this occurred on the street, but yes, there's a number of evidence markers that spread out through an Osler Street.
There was also an
Sir.
evidence marker near a gas line, which would have a gas line was hit, also a stray bullet hit a window of a nearby home. Can you tell us about that, elaborate, and what about those people living inside that home?
We have only one injured party. Again, we're still collecting the evidence, but as you've probably clearly seen at the scene itself, evidence markers are strewn. It's a fairly large scene. And we believe that, again, you were asking about the rounds that were fired, they're possibly. And so we have located quite a few different evidence pieces throughout the street, as well as where you saw a home possibly hit by a round as well.
Can you talk about how brazen this is to do this right under your nose? Knowing that 11 Division is literally a couple of minute walk away, and the homes in that area too. Very street is narrow, the homes are very close to each other. Anybody could have walked in.
Mila, I'll agree. It's fairly brazen. As we're standing here at 11 Division, we can possibly see the crime scene not too far from here. And again, it's just an indication of the brazenness of some of these things that are occurring as far as violence goes. Yes, it is very brazen. It was very close to the police station. Yes. Yes, sir?
Can you talk about this scene has been the site of many different shootings over last few years? Can you talk about any possible incident, homes, reports, anything like that?
I can't speak to past incidents. I can only speak to the one this morning that we're currently investigating now.
Your message to neighbors who are obviously very concerned, a stray bullet hitting a window, there are people with kids in the area knowing suspects are on the loose, and this has happened in the early morning hours in that neighborhood. Your kind of message to them right now?
Very concerning. They will see an increased police presence in that area for the rest of the day, not only for the investigation, but to ensure continued community safety as well. But we certainly will have an increased police presence and make our best efforts to apprehend those responsible for this brazen event this morning.
And do you believe that it's targeted?
At this stage of the investigation, indications are that it is possibly targeted. However, that is to be confirmed, but in the early stages, indications are this is a targeted shooting.
And reports of a shooting, was it the family that called police? Or?
At this point, we can't disclose who the callers were, but we did get reports. However, our officers were very close by within minutes and heard the gunshots as well. So they were there very quickly within minutes as they heard the shots.
There were so many neighbors that had their guards up. They didn't want to talk to us. They were scared. Scared to go on camera, scared to say anything, scared that other people would see them talking. What can you tell us about your message to this neighborhood?
Our message is that we provide continuous support. We work with the city, with partners, SafeTO, our community response office as well. Our neighborhood officers will be there as well to provide safety to the community. But there will be a follow-up with support services. We'll go in after the initial investigation, trying to speak to residents, provide some kind of assurance, and provide whatever support we can and assurances to the neighbors. That's it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We've been listening to Toronto Police at 11 Division providing an update on their investigation into this morning's fatal shooting in the junction near Dundas and DuPont. Not a lot of details when it comes to suspects or who police are looking for. We're going to have a lot more on this investigation throughout the morning and afternoon.